This week's guest is known for catching monster walleye that you and me only dream of. He's the owner and operator of Walleye Mafia Guide Service. I call him the Walleye Godfather. We welcome on Troy Krause to the podcast.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. So we got to talk to you a little bit yesterday, which was awesome. We got to pick your brain a little bit pre-interview here. We'll just briefly talk about the tournament a little bit here. It sounded like a lot of us would have liked to do a lot better than we did. That seemed to be the trend for the day. Yeah, but last year you placed in the top 10, didn't you?
Yeah, we were in the top 10 last year. I think we had a better line than what we did end up with. Last year we got kind of pushed off our line a little bit, and the guy that pushed us off our line took third place. So we did take. I think we took 7th place, which I don't know. To me, was a little bit disappointing with the way the year had been going, because I had been fishing out there every day and had big fish. So it was a little bit disappointing, but it was still 7th place out of, I don't remember how many boats were in it last year, 80 some, I think. So still good, a lot better than this year. That's for sure.
Did this year, did a boat push you off your line by chance? Were there 3 guys, one in an orange coat?
Possibly. It might have happened. It looked like it anyways.
One guy might have had the boat on spot lock. You might have said you're gonna run my lines over, and I said I'm not.
Yeah,
moving.
one of my team members is like, "You're gonna run that board over."
Instantly,
it's like, I'm not moving.
I totally didn't.
And I said to myself, ugh. And then we got a 27 1/4 incher right after.
And we
saw
did
that.
see that. It was awesome.
We got it on film, actually.
We'll have to send that over to you.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I saw you guys had the cameras out, so I'm like, oh, we'll probably see that out there somewhere eventually. So yeah, that'd be awesome.
Right after we got in that, right after we had that little talk, I'm like, great, Troy's not coming on the podcast.
Well, because I tried yelling back. I was like, he didn't mean it to be a dick. I was like, he was just saying we're on spot lock.
Well, I didn't even know I had no idea who it even was. I'm just like, and you guys were like the only boat right in front of where I wanted to go.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I got as close as I could and veered out. So you guys caught some decent fish in there too, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were low 20s all day, which like you were saying, past weekends we did a lot better than this weekend.
Right.
So I mean, of all people, fishing's fishing and it happens. So you can't beat yourself up too much about it, you know. But,
right.
It was our first year, so we're looking forward to doing it again next year and hopefully do a little bit better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd gone up on Thursday with a buddy, and even that day was pretty slow. We hit all the same spots that Cam and Mike had been hitting the previous weekend, and we weren't pulling out anything bigger than 20.
Well, and I tell a lot of people that I don't know. I think they're bored. Like I'm almost bored, because it's like every day is the same, barring a little bit of wind change. I mean, it gets up to the high 30s, low 40s every day, and then every night it goes back down in the 20s, and it's been like that, it seems like, for 3 weeks. And the fish are not coming in from the bay. They have no reason to. The water temp hasn't changed. There's no current. There's no nothing's melting. It's just, everything's just stagnant, and there's days actually that there's no current, or the current is actually going the wrong way.
Are you guys expecting that rain tonight that we're getting down here?
I'm in Fond du Lac right now, and it's raining here now.
So that should definitely help the fishing.
Yes, if it's raining in Fond du Lac, then Lake Winnebago and that system should be getting some rain, and that'll wash up to the Fox River.
Nice.
All right, well, we can close out with the tournament talk for now. We'll get to you and your guided service. So, Walleye Mafia, it's a badass name. How did you come up with it?
I don't even know, it must be 5-6 years ago. Buddy of mine and I started kind of fishing together. We decided to do some tournaments and needed a team name, and threw some stuff around. And I don't know, at the time we were watching Amish Mafia a lot. And for whatever reason, Walleye Mafia came up, and Walleye Mafia was born.
You landed on a good one, I think. I like it.
You ever think about going out with like a nice little tux on or something? Add to the persona.
We've talked about doing stuff like that, but it's never happened. Maybe one day, come up with a mafia suit on for the tournament.
There you go.
So do you guide all year round?
Yep. Right now, I'm full-time guiding, fishing. I think on my business card I have fishing 363 days a year or something like that.
What are the 2 days off?
Got to have at least 2 days off, right?
I think everyone deserves that.
St. Patrick's Day and
there might be a holiday in there.
Oktoberfest. Yeah, the two biggest drinking holidays. Are those the 2 days you have off?
Right. I have fished on Christmas Eve. I fished on Thanksgiving.
We did a little ice fishing.
Fished on New Year's. I think I fished pretty much on all holidays.
That's cool. Yeah, we did a little ice fishing.
My wife can attest to that.
Yeah. Hey, someone's got to do it.
Right.
How does your wife like you out fishing every single day? Or 363 days of the year?
It's taxing sometimes because I'm not home a lot, and even when I am home, she says even when you are home, you're not home because I'm on my phone talking to people about fishing or doing something with my Facebook page, or it's always something, either fishing or I started a lawn care business last year, and that's been keeping us busy. So trying to run both businesses is definitely taxing on the family. The lawn care is a family business, so everybody's involved in that. So
what's the name of the lawn care business?
Guess.
Philly Mafia.
Lawn Care Mafia?
Lawn Care Mafia.
Is it? Awesome. That's awesome.
Group effort there.
And we took the same two guys, the Mafia guys from the Walleye Mafia logo, and put one on a lawnmower and gave one a weed eater.
Perfect. I like it.
Nice.
So we just kind of stuck with the same theme.
So we've noticed that you've grown quite a following on Facebook, and just from posting just monster walleye year round, you're posting monster walleye on Facebook. Has anyone followed you that you're like, holy crap, like so and so is following me? Like maybe like somebody you've looked up to, or somebody that like is also a big fisherman in the industry?
Not really.
No.
No. But I will say that I don't know if that's really important to me.
Okay.
Right.
As I 3 years ago, I went down to Lake Erie to go ice fishing, and I went in the bait shop, and people are like, "Hey, Troy, how's it going?" And I'm like, who is this person? And it's like, I just talked to him like I knew who they were and whatever. And the people that I was with was like, "Who's that?" And I said, "I have no idea." And another person was like, "Hey, Troy, how's it going?" And it's just, it's so humbling because, like with the brand, with the hoodies and stuff like that, I think I've sold hoodies to 29 different states and in Canada, and it's humbling to see that it's just the way it's growing. It's a lot of work. It's been a lot of work. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's been a ton of work daily. It's a lot of work, but it's paying off, and that's the neat thing. And my family's starting to see the rewards after the sacrifices that they've been put through. Because, like I said, I'm not home a lot, and when I am home, I'm busy a lot, and they don't get the family time that they probably should. But it's starting to pay off, and I was talking about June possibly taking like almost the whole month off.
Oh, really?
Walleye fishing kind of slows down in June. The alewives move in, and I'd rather not take customers out knowing that they're gonna not catch fish, and just maybe take that month off and maybe spend some family time. It's summer, so.
Hey, I'm sure you deserve it. I think everyone would understand. I think people would understand.
Yeah.
So how long have you actually been fishing into Pier?
I didn't really get back into. I got out of fishing really since high school. I went here and there once in a while, but just kind of got out of it. And I don't know, a guy that I was working with probably 8 years ago, maybe now. One day said, "Hey, you want to go ice fishing with me?" And I went with him, and I didn't miss a weekend of fishing for 2 years. I got right back into it, and it's walleye fishing. When growing up, I never even knew there was such a thing that existed. And we fished the bay for perch, and that's all I really knew about. Other than grew up in Algoma, so we did a lot of trout and salmon fishing. But never even knew such a thing until one day I was scrolling through channels or whatever, and I saw a fishing show where they were up in Sturgeon Bay at night catching monster walleye, and I'm like, that looks fun. I want to do that. So, ever since then, they're just an awesome fish, and I'm fascinated with them, and that's become my passion.
For the record, walleye is my favorite fish to catch, so I'm on board.
Awesome.
Just curious, you had mentioned that you went out to Lake Erie, but do you have any like major out-of-state areas that you love to go for walleye fishing? Because I know Wisconsin's really hooked up with the walleye fishing. But just curious.
And I love going out to Minnesota. There's lakes out there. I've been ice fishing on Lake of the Woods, had a blast. Red Lake, had a blast. Mille Lacs is an amazing fishery. And me and my wife have talked about moving several times, and it's like, where would you want to move? And it's like, I think of Minnesota, and it's like, if I go to Minnesota, then I'm twice as far away from Lake Erie.
Yeah.
If I go to Lake Erie, then I'm twice as far from Minnesota.
And we'd miss you here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we don't want you to leave.
I'm really right in the perfect spot because we have a trophy fishery right in Green Bay that I can be on in minutes.
Absolutely.
And I'm within 7 hours of other amazing fisheries, so it's just I don't think I can ever move.
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
Hard-hitting question here, Troy. How awesome is it to do what you love, to be in the outdoors all day, and to not have to listen to Sally from HR bitch to Tom in accounting about Jim's from sales?
I don't even know if I can explain it in a quick way because it really is amazing. On a Saturday, I mean, I used to work real hard and was only able to go fishing a lot on weekends where I could go for a whole day, and we'd have to get out to the launch at 5 o'clock in the morning to beat the rush. And a couple weeks ago, I woke up at 9:30 on a Saturday morning knowing the river was going to be crazy, and I didn't even feel bad.
That's awesome.
Because I can go fishing whenever I want.
Yeah, you got it made.
And I know there's probably millions of people that think, man, it would just be amazing to be able to just go fishing every day, and that was a goal of mine. I used to be so jealous when I was at work all day, and I'd go and look at Facebook, and there's all these fish pictures, and it's like, oh, and now that's me. You're talking to a group of guys who have that same dream. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. And I guess my best advice is it's not impossible. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but I think if it's not work, I mean, when I'm out on the boat, I'm not working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so many people, probably the majority of people, even when you don't catch fish, they're like, it sure still beats working. And it's like, even today, the guys are like, that still beats working. And then the guys is like, unless you're a guide. And I'm like, no, you know what? This isn't work. I'm out here having fun, sharing the passion of fishing with new people every day. And some of the same people come back, repeat, and I meet a lot of people, have a lot of fun, and share a lot of fun stories. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
And it beats listening to Sally from HR bitch every day.
Yeah.
Right. Right on.
So I was talking to you a little bit yesterday, and it seems to be the case that the big girls are only being caught at night. Do you know if that's just a thing in De Pere, or do you know why that is or why that happens?
My theory is the fish that are in the river right now are the fish that have been in the rivers for all year.
Okay.
This year, ice fishing was an amazing year for walleye compared to the years past. They dropped a lot of rock because they're doing the dredging, which the dredging is cleaning up the water, which could be a factor. But the fish that are in there right now are still the same.
Yeah.
And we never had a good day bite for big fish in winter. In the morning and in the afternoon and during the dark hours, I would catch big fish.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got some. There were days. Don't get me wrong. There were days when we got some nice fish during the day, but it wasn't a consistent thing, which still is the case.
Now, is that all going to change with the water temp? You think fresh fish are going to come in when the water temp changes?
Yep.
And is that all going to be on water flow? What's going to get that water temp up the quickest, do you think?
we gotta have some sun. We gotta have some warm weather. We can't have the cold nights. The cold nights are killing us too.
Yeah.
It gets down to 20 degrees.
Yeah, we heard.
You can get up to 60 degrees during the day, and it gets down to 20 degrees at night, and it's just going to cool it right back off like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, we heard guys saying that the water temp was getting up to about 41, 42, and then in the nights getting back down into the 20s.
I haven't seen that high of a water temp.
No?
No, I haven't seen anything over 39 yet. But
Yeah.
You've been lied to, Adam.
I mean, some people might get into the shallows in the high sun. If you get into 4 feet of water, I mean, that water is going to be different because it's going to heat up faster, especially with no current.
Yeah, when I went out on Thursday, it was around, I think it was like 34 when we got out there. And as the day warmed up, it reached 39, but I was waiting for it to hit 40. I didn't see it, but it hit the magic number.
No.
So you talked a little bit about ice fishing here. What run or season do you look forward to most every year?
I have 2 seasons that are probably my favorite right now, because it's most days everybody catches fish.
Oh yeah,
and it's close to home. I'm out there sometimes 16 hours a day.
Wow.
And I don't regret it. It's still fun. I mean, so there's when it gets down to 20 degrees every night, and it's cold, but that's when you're getting 10 and 12 pounders.
Oh yeah. And like you were saying, I mean, even when you're not catching fish, though, we've gone out with a lot of people that aren't big into fishing, and I mean, just being out there is just amazing. Like sunrise, sunset, it's a cool experience regardless.
Yep, and there's a lot of people that don't get to do it a lot.
Oh yeah.
And that's where they come out, and it's like, oh man, I don't even care if we catch fish. It just feels awesome to be out here.
Oh hell yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it is. It really is, and that's part of the experience, is just being. And there's some nights when there's hardly anybody out there, and it's just so quiet and peaceful, and you're just away from everything and just having a good time.
So I'm guessing, since you're fishing 363 days a year, you probably got a good story or two from fishing. You got any offhand?
I have all kinds of stories.
we got all day. We got all night.
I guess the stories that I will not tell are the ones.
Those are the ones we want.
The ones where people come out and get drunk.
Yeah, we've got a couple of those good stories.
Those are probably my least favorite experiences.
Oh boy.
Because it's just, if you're gonna hire, another word of advice: if you're gonna hire a guy, don't bring cases of beer on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Go to fish. Go to learn something. Don't go to get drunk.
Does that happen more often than people would expect, or no?
No. I've had, in 4 years, I guess 3.5 years, I've had 3 bad experiences.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Now, when you have guys on the boat with you, do you recommend them bringing their own rods and equipment, or do you supply all that for everyone?
I supply everything, but I mean, if I'm going somewhere, not so much trolling rods, but if I'm going jigging or whatever, I want my own rod. Yeah. So if somebody wants to bring their own rod, they're more than welcome. If they buy some special baits that they want to try, more than welcome. Bring whatever you want, I guess, to a limit, because I don't have that big of a boat. But yeah, you're welcome to bring baits, bring your own rod, whatever. But if you don't want to, everything's supplied.
Now, have you ever had anyone snap any of your rods, break any of your tackle, and just gotten really pissed off and wanted to take them back to the dock?
Probably not that second. Yeah.
No, I don't think anybody's really ever broken anything. Probably close.
That means you're a good guide showing them the technique.
Yeah. Right. I've broken plenty of my own stuff, but I don't think anybody else has really broken any of my stuff.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's really been I mean, I've heard horror stories from other guides, and I'm sure I'll have some more, but it's been, for the most part, an enjoyable thing.
Do the clients, do they get a choice of whether they troll or jig, or is that set?
Yeah,
based on the year?
usually when I talk to them about setting up the trip, I mean, right now we're going to pretty much be doing the same things, but I'll always ask people what their goal is. Some people want to come out and learn. Some people want to go out and get big fish. Some people want to go out and get eaters. whatever. But I talk to them and see what their goal is in the trip, and then we'll kind of cater around that. One thing I do is if somebody wants to go for eaters and we get big fish and they want to keep that, we will be moving. Because I am a big proponent of catch and release fish. I do catch and release tournaments, and I think we have to sustain the fisheries by getting those breeders back in the water.
Yeah. A lot of strain gets put on. I feel like every year you see, it seems like more and more people are hitting the waters as word gets out.
Yeah,
you know? That could
yeah.
just
The
be-
pressure is crazy compared to what it was even 5 years ago.
Are there quite a few guides in the area guiding that water?
Yeah, I don't even know how many there are anymore. It seems like every year there's more and more popping up, but I know a couple of them that were guiding the last several years that decided not to this year. So I don't know. It might kind of balance itself out. I don't know. I would think there's got to be a couple of years ago. I had heard there was like 32 or 35 or something like that. Now I think there's got to be at least 40 or 50.
Oh, wow. So do you, like the clients that you're taking out, are they mainly looking for tips on fishing, or do you just take a lot of people out that have just gone out with you before and they have a good time?
I
like
think
kids,
a lot
or...
of people see the pictures of the fish that we're catching and just want to go and have that experience.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
wouldn't want to catch those fish?
Right, exactly. And that's one of the things that puzzle me is I do a lot of night fishing, but I do a lot of night fishing with friends and family, and sometimes by myself because for whatever reason people don't want to go out at night.
Yeah.
Hey, we got four guys sitting right here that'll always go out at night.
All right. Well, we'll get out in August.
Okay.
Okay.
right.
August
Sounds
night
perfect.
fishing in Door County is my absolute favorite.
Really?
Sounds good to
Yeah.
me.
Hell yeah. I'm in.
We'll get a cool video that you can that we'll film a cool video that you can put on your Facebook page and hopefully
Right on.
grow that already enormous following that you have.
Yeah.
Going to the social media, do you think Facebook and all that has helped or sort of put a damper on your favorite fishing spots? I'm sure it's got to help with customers.
Yeah, I would say social media is there's definitely no secrets left out there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're new to it, yeah, there's secrets. But if you've been around for even a couple of years, it's not hard to find the spots. I do still have spots that I'm fishing all by myself, which is amazing because even customers that do come out with me, there's some that will, they'll book a hotel for 3 days and they'll come out with me for a day or a half day the first day, and then they'll go out and try to do it on their own the next 2 days or whatever, and they fish in the area, but then I don't see them come back a lot or whatever. It's just they want to learn it, and I'm sure they come up for a weekend or whatever with friends and family and go and do it and whatever, but it hasn't really hurt me, I guess. I don't think.
Well, that night fishing probably pays off a little bit because the pictures are dark, so nobody can see where you're at. They just see the monster
Right.
fish.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Are you getting
Yeah,
a lot?
and-
What were you gonna say?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say you'd mentioned that people get hotels and stuff. Are you getting a lot of people from out of state, or a lot of at least like across the state coming over to you for guides?
Yeah, I would say I get a fair amount from Minnesota and Illinois.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite fishing memory that sticks out at all? You fish
Anything
so
that
often.
maybe got you into fishing or anything?
Oh man, there's so many. It's just I guess I don't have a favorite just because there's so many. It's just
New ones come up and then the old ones kind of fade
always,
away.
And
Yeah.
it's always a fun experience, and just even like right now this time of year, and like I had a week and a half to almost 2 weeks where every night trip we were out, we had at least 1 10-pounder or more.
Wow, that's awesome.
And that who can say that?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're out in Erie, I guess you could get 10-pounders all day long, but it's hard. I would say probably my favorite was it was a half-day trip, and it was with a customer that comes up with me quite often. But we were up in Door County, and we had We were slow trolling because my kicker wasn't working again. And all I had was my bum out. So we were going like 1 to 1-1, pulling flicker minnows shallow. And we had 17 fish over 28 inches and 5 over 30.
Holy shit.
That's insane.
And we launched at 7 o'clock and batteries were dead by noon.
That's a dream day.
Yeah, absolutely. And people, I think it was like the week before a tournament, so people were coming in, doing their little pre-fish in one pass and not catching a damn thing, and we're just hammering.
So how'd you do the following day? You had to go back.
Actually, I didn't. That was a Sunday, I think. I fished it with my uncle the night before, and we did about just as good.
Oh, right on.
Wow.
And the wind was out of the south the night before, and it came out of the north the morning, and all I did was troll the opposite direction, and it was lights out. But yeah, there's a couple extra. I had one night where we were out in probably 6-footers in an aluminum boat. We caught probably 40 fish, and the smallest one was 24 inches.
Jesus.
What was the biggest fish you caught this year?
This year so far, 30 inches.
30 inches? Yeah.
That's what won the tournament, didn't it? The Derby?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big fish.
None of us have ever caught a 30-inch
No.
walleye, right?
No.
28's the biggest for me so far,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping to top that this year, hopefully.
I'm on the water.
Michael's been talking about 32-inch, 33,
33.
33,
This
sorry.
33-inch walleye.
And
that
I
he-
got a couple 32 and a half.
That is a nice fish, regardless.
Yeah.
So, speaking of big fish, do you... I hear the fish kind of get bigger as you go up to Oconto, Peshtigo, and all that. Do you ever hit any of those, or you just kind of depier?
Yeah,
depier
I fish all over the bay. I go all the way up to Baden. I don't guide up in Michigan, but I do fish up there. But I guide anywhere from the Menominee River to down south to Green Bay, all the way up to Sister Bay.
Does that big fish rule of thumb hold true or no?
I think so.
Yeah.
I classify Door County as their retirement home. And then when you do catch a 14 or 15 inch fish, which is very uncommon up there, it's like early retirement or what? He's lost. I don't know what. You just don't really catch a lot of small fish north of, I guess, Larson's Reef. Larson's Reef sometimes can be a really good place for eaters. There was a couple years ago, that's where I had to go for eaters.
Okay.
But quite often, Door County is just not a small fish spot.
Yeah. Do you ever, where your client is coming from, does that ever have like a influence on where you're going for the day, or do you just kind of have your mindset, we're going here, this is what's going on, and they,
Yeah, I'll pretty much, because as long as I'm out quite often, so I kind of stay on the bite, and that's going to dictate where we're going to fish.
Yeah,
is
that makes sense.
Where the bite is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take somebody to fish where I know where I don't know.
Right.
I don't like pre-fishing with customers. If I have a customer on a Friday and I didn't fish for 3 days, I will definitely make sure that I'm out there the day before to try and find fish for them. So
That's good.
if somebody's coming tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, their trip actually starts the day before.
If you had one tip you could throw out to walleye anglers, whether they're new or they've been fishing for a while, what would it be? If you could dial one in.
The biggest thing is time on the water. I mean, that's probably what sets me apart from a lot of other people is I'm able to spend a lot more time on the water than most people.
Do you have any of those go-to baits? Something you always like to start out with, or something?
If I had one bait that I could only run for the rest of my life, it would be a number 9 primetime flicker minnow.
Right on.
I'm gonna take notes on it. Write that down real quick.
We're gonna write that down. We're recording, right?
You might want to change the hooks on them, but yeah, that bait catches fish.
Nice, love it.
I have another one I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Yeah. You
It
hold
doesn't
on to
have
your
a name.
secrets.
Yeah,
You can tell us. You can tell us that after you're done recording. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, you'll have to be next to my boat sometime. One of my lines.
We got pretty close last weekend. We won't be afraid.
Troy, we ask every guy this question, every person on the podcast. What is your favorite beer?
My favorite beer? I drink Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Bud Light. All
Yeah,
right.
I don't really drink a lot of it anymore, but I've had my share.
We're rocking Keystone and Busch Light right now. We like to have
Right on.
have one just to cool the nerves before we talk to the awesome guests. So
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, Troy, thank you for coming on the podcast. If people are interested in getting your guide service, learning more about you, where should they go? Social media, website, what do you got?
I have a website, walleymafia.com. I'm also on Facebook, which is Walleye Mafia LLC. I am on Instagram, although I don't update it as often as I probably should. Also Walleye Mafia.
Okay, awesome. Thank
And
you
then
very much.
What
Troy.
about the lawn service too? If I need some lawn care done, where do we go for that?
You can get me through that page too.
Okay, all right.
But we do also have a Facebook page, and that's Lawn Care Mafia.
Check that out. I'm sure you'll have the nicest lawn pictures out of anybody.
Yeah.
Right on. We're gonna have to start putting some fish with the lawn pictures.
I was about to say, just throw a couple walleyes on there.
Right? Yeah. Big walleye on the lawn.
Yeah.
Set up a little 2-for-1 deal, some lawn care and some fishing.
Yeah.
Right. Right on.
Well, thank you for coming on, Troy.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
All
Thanks,
right.
Troy.
Easy.
All right. You too.